Hello. Please hit like button and subscribe my channel. Also press bell icon for future video notifications. Thanks.
Scientists at the U.S. Department of Energy's Brookhaven National Laboratory have developed a new way to guide the self-assembly of a wide range of novel nanoscale structures using simple polymers as starting materials. Under the electron microscope, these nanometer-scale structures look like tiny Lego building blocks, including parapets for miniature medieval castles and Roman aqueducts. The team from Brookhaven Lab's Center for Functional Nanomaterials, CFN, describes their novel approach to control self-assembly in a paper just published in Nature Communications. The work could help guide the design of custom surface coatings with tailored optical, electronic, and mechanical properties for use in sensors, batteries, filters, and more. This work opens the door to a wide range of possible applications and opportunities for scientists from academia and industry to partner with experts at CFN, said Kevin Yeager, leader of the project and CFN's Electronic Nanomaterials Group. Scientists interested in studying optical coatings, or electrodes for batteries, or solar cell designs could tell us what properties they need, and we can select just the right structure from our library of exotic-shaped materials to meet their needs. Automatic assembly to make the exotic materia. First is the self-assembly of materials called block copolymers, including how various forms of processing affect the organization and rearrangement of these molecules. Self-assembly is a really beautiful way to make structures, Yeager said. You design the molecules, and the molecules spontaneously organize into the desired structure. In its simplest form, the process starts by depositing thin films of long chain-like molecules called block copolymers onto a substrate. The two ends of these block copolymers are chemically distinct and want to separate from each other, like oil and water. When you heat these films through a process called annealing, the copolymers' two ends rearrange to move as far apart as possible while still being connected. Scientists then infuse one of the domains with a metal or other substance to make a replica of its shape, and completely burn away the original material. The result? A shaped piece of metal or oxide with dimensions measuring mere billionths of a meter that could be useful for semiconductors, transistors, or sensors. It's a powerful and scalable technique. You can easily cover large areas with these materials, Yeager said. But the disadvantage is that this process tends to form only simple shapes, flat sheet-like layers called lamellae or nanoscale cylinders. Scientists have tried different strategies to go beyond those simple arrangements. But making more complex materials and the tools and templates for guiding nanoassembly can be both labor-intensive and expensive. What we're trying to show is that there's an alternative where you can still use simple, cheap starting materials, but get really interesting, exotic structures, Yeager said. Stacking and quenching the CFN method relies on depositing block copolymer thin films in layers. We take two of the materials that naturally want to form very different structures and literally put them on top of one another, Yeager said. By varying the order and thickness of the layers, their chemical composition, and a range of other variables including annealing times and temperatures, the scientists generated more than a dozen exotic nanoscale structures that haven't been seen before. We discovered that the two materials don't really want to be stratified. As they anneal, they want to mix, Yeager said. The mixing is causing more interesting new structures to form. If annealing is allowed to progress to completion, the layers will eventually evolve to form a stable structure. But by stopping the annealing process at various times and cooling the material rapidly, quenching it, you can pull out transient structures and get some other interesting shapes, Yeager said. A material with holes might work as a membrane for filtration or catalysis. One with parapet-like pillars on top could potentially be a sensor because of its large surface area and electronic connectivity, Yeager suggested. The first tests, included in the Nature Communications paper, focused on electrical conductivity. After forming an array of newly shaped polymers, the team used infiltration synthesis to replace one of the newly shaped domains with zinc oxide. When they measured the electrical conductivity of differently shaped zinc oxide nanostructures, they found huge differences. It's the same starting molecules, and we're converting them all into zinc oxide. The only difference between one and the other is how they're locally connected to each other at the nanoscale, Yeager said. And that turns out to make a huge difference in the final material's electrical properties. In a sensor or an electrode for a battery, that would be very important. The scientists are now exploring the different shapes' mechanical properties. The next frontier is multifunctionality, Yeager said. Now that we have access to these nice structures, how can we choose one that maximizes one property and minimizes another, or maximizes both or minimizes both, if that's what we want? With this approach, we have a lot of control, Yeager said. We can control what the structure is, using this newly developed method, and also what material it is made of, using our infiltration synthesis expertise. We look forward to working with CFN users on where this approach can lead. This research was funded by the DOE Office of Science, BES. The experimental work was led by Sebastian Russell, a postdoctoral fellow at the CFN who is now working in industry. Additional co-authors include Masafumi Fukuto of Brookhaven Labs National Synchrotron Light Source 2, NSLS-2, Chongyang Nam, Suwon Bai, Nikhil Tawale, and Gregory Dork of CFN, and Ashwant Subramanian of Stony Brook University, SBU. Sebastian T. Russell, Suwon Bai, Ashwant Subramanian, Nikhil Tawale, Gregory Dork, Chongyang Nam, Masafumi Fukuto, Kevin G. Yeager. Priming self-assembly pathways by stacking block copolymers. Nature Communications, 2022, 13-1, doi, 10. 1038, S41467, 022, 34729, ODO, Brookhaven National Laboratory. Scientists build nanoscale parapets, aqueducts, and other shapes. Science Daily. https://ift. TT, U59FKVY, accessed November 18, 2022. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.